Happy Friday, Bears fans. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. I am Harrison Graham, filming a video from home because there's a tons of stuff going on around the NFL, around the Bears. So want to get you guys caught up on the latest. Kind of go story by story here. Number one, I want to kind of explore the idea of potentially bringing back Leonard Floyd, who, of course, Ryan Pace drafted number 9 overall in the 2016 NFL Draft. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, he is going to be released by the Rams today. So that is going to take place, which means he will be an unrestricted free agent. Now, obviously, we're all very familiar with Leonard Floyd. Up and down, 4 seasons in Chicago, just 18 and a half sacks for a top 10 pick. The Bears certainly wanted more. They ended up moving on from him. Then he signs with the Rams and plays really well. He's had 29 sacks in 3 seasons out in Los Angeles, 9 or more sacks in each of the 3 years. So he's been consistent. It's not like he's had one huge year and a couple of average years. 10 and a half sacks, 9.5, 9 the last 3, which adds up to 29. He's strictly been a 3-4 guy in his career, but I think at 6'5", 240, he's big enough to come off the edge here in Chicago. And let's just be honest. The Bears need guys who can rush the passer. They need a better defensive front, and Leonard Floyd can rush the passer, and he's an excellent run defender. So, even if the sack numbers went down a little bit in a 4-3 or something like that, he stops the run really well. He did that when he was with the Bears, even though the sack numbers weren't what we wanted them to be. He always was a good run stopper here. So I'm certainly intrigued to see where he goes, what his market is. Obviously, the Bears have around $95, $100 million in cap space, more than any other team in the NFL. He's only 30 years old, so it's not like this is a 34, 35-year-old, playing on one-year deals at this point in his career. You could potentially sign Floyd to a 2-3-year deal. So we'll see. I'll be curious to see if he's, tries to find a 3-4 scheme team to sign with. Maybe he wants to reunite with Vic Fangio down in Miami. Who knows? I don't know what Leonard Floyd is looking to do, but I do know that the Rams are going to release him and that he is set to become a free agent. Now, would you bring back Leonard Floyd to Chicago? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. Let me know down in the comment section below. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's show, so drop a Y for yes, in for no when it comes to Leonard Floyd. Okay, let's get to the next story here. Adam Thielen, cut by the Minnesota Vikings today. Obviously, a great story for him. UDFA, I believe, back in 2013, has played in the last decade or so in Minnesota and has been a really good player for them for a long time. Also played in all 17 games this year, so he was able to have a healthy season. 70 catches, 716 yards, 6 touchdowns. He's not a number 1. I'm not really sure he's even still a number 2. But I do think there could be value for the 33-year-old receiver. 1, he knows the division. 2, he's a veteran with experience. He could help some of the younger receivers on this team. I think he could help a young quarterback in Justin Fields looking to take that next step, both on the field and off. Again, I don't think this is going to be someone that can come in here and have 1,000 yards, but could he give you 500-600 yards and be a good mentor? I think that's possible. He also has a connection with Andrew Janocko, the Bears quarterbacks coach, who was on the Vikings staff before this prior year. So I think there is a scenario where this could make sense on a 1-year type of deal, right? Like, I don't think this is 2-3-year deal. Adam Thielen, I think, is at the point in his career where he's probably year to year. But for all those reasons I previously mentioned, I think it could make sense. Now, I don't think signing Adam Thielen, sways you in any way in terms of maybe trading for a receiver, picking one high in the NFL draft. I think he could be a quality wide receiver 3 type, depth that could be a mentor and provide experience. I think those intangible cultural type of things is probably what you would get more out of him than actually a guy who, hey, we need you to go catch 8 balls a game. I don't think that's going to happen, albeit I do think you could get some production here for a guy who did have 70 catches a year ago. Hit that subscribe button here on Bears Now, whether we're in the studio at Chat Sports or if I'm filming something from home. I will continue to get you guys caught up on the latest Chicago Bears news, rumors, draft stuff. Bears still hold the #1 pick, so once they trade that, we will be going live. So stay tuned for all of that and more here on the channel. We will have you guys with a video every single day, sometimes multiple videos per day. Starting with free agency next week, we're going to be going live on Monday as free agency opens. So lots of stuff going on. So hit that sub button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything. Let's go from a veteran receiver to a younger receiver, Mecole Hardman, who spent his first 4 seasons with Kansas City. Obviously, Bears GM Ryan Poles was in the Chiefs front office when they drafted Hardman in 2019 as a second-round pick, the speedster out of Georgia. He's a 4.3 guy, has versatility as a receiver, gadget guy, return weapon. 19 career touchdowns in 4 seasons, really 4.5, because he missed 9 games this year with a groin issue. Ended up having a cleanup surgery after the season, a groin surgery. So probably still recovering from that, but should be plenty good to go in time for camp and the season and everything like that. Interesting exchange on Twitter recently. Someone tweeted out an old clip of Justin Fields throwing a deep ball touchdown to Mecole Hardman when they were both at Georgia back in 2018. That was Hardman's final year in college, and then of course Fields, after that season, transferred to Ohio State, had 2 great years up there. But Hardman saw the tweet and kind of, it's eye emoji season, sent the eye emoji and added Justin Fields on Twitter, which sparked a lot of stuff like, ooh, could they reunite? I have some interest here. Kind of similar conversation with Thielen, but different in the sense that similar is not a #1, right? And really never became a true #2 in Kansas City, but he's a dangerous weapon because he's so fast. I mean, you get the ball in his hands, he can make things happen. Now, obviously, he didn't become a Tyreek Hill type, where not only is he super fast, but he's also going to have 1,300 yards a year. But he is a dangerous weapon. He is an elite return specialist, if you want to use him in that regard as well. Now, the question to all of this is, A, how much would it cost to bring in Mecole Hardman? I would guess he wants a multi-year deal. There's been chatter anywhere from like 7 to 11 million is what he could get. If you could get him more in the 7-8 million range, I'd be interested. 11, 12 feels a little steep for him. And then the next question is, if you do sign him, what does that mean for Velus Jones, a guy you just drafted last year in the 3rd round? Because they do a lot of similar things. Now, Hardman's more proven, a little bit more polished, of course, in the NFL. But you drafted Velus Jones for a reason, and if you sign Mecole Hardman, you're probably going to have him do a lot of the things you want Velus Jones to do. So is there room for both of them? Or does Velus Jones not have a role at that point? I don't know. I don't think this is going to be a team that's just ready to punt on Velus after 1 season, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't sign Mecole Hardman either. So I think it's a bit of a tricky one, but I think if he's a guy that Ryan Poles feels can help this offense, help Justin Fields, help this football team, you can never have enough speed. And that is something that Mecole Hardman undoubtedly provides to the Chicago Bears. Now, which receiver would you rather sign? Let's say money's not really a factor. Like, they're both not going to break the bank. Who would you rather have? Adam Thielen or Mecole Hardman? Type AT for Adam Thielen or type MH for Mecole Hardman? Which receiver would you rather bring to the Bears? Now, an interesting name that has just become available is center Ben Jones, as the Tennessee Titans have cut him, 33 years old, veteran center who's played through a lot of kind of like minor injuries. This year, he finally missed some games with concussions. I think he missed 5 games this year, so that's mildly concerning. Did make the Pro Bowl this year, though, still. He was that good. I think he's a good stopgap center option. Or maybe you draft a center and you want him to kind of watch for a year. I think a guy in the 3rd, 4th round, maybe like a Ricky Stromberg type. I think a John Michael Schmitz would start from day 1. But if there's someone in the draft you like, but maybe he needs to sit for a year, well, Ben Jones on a 1-year deal could make a lot of sense, even if you have to overpay, because I think he fits the mold of what this team wants to do at that position. He's played a lot in this league at a high level. PFF year after year has graded him very highly. He can pass protect. He can run block. I don't know what it would cost. I mean, 1 year, $8 million? Is that kind of the range for Ben Jones? He has a great personality. I think culture-wise, he would make a lot of sense. But I continue to say that we're not talking about center enough. I think they've got to figure out the center position this offseason. I don't think you can just be like, yeah, well, Lucas Patrick's under contract and sixth round rookie Doug Kramer, who didn't play at all last year, they can work it out. Or you bring back Sam Mustipher. I think you got to figure something else out there at center. We'll see how they feel about Lucas Patrick at this point. But Ben Jones is an intriguing name as a short-term option. 1-2-year deal. That's what we're talking about here. Assuming he still wants to play. There's been some chatter. Maybe he'll decide to retire. He's played through some injuries over the years. But 33 is not super old. Guys playing to their mid-late 30s on the offensive line sometimes. So, again, 1-2-year deal. I would certainly be open to that. Now, some other storylines across the NFL today. The Vikings also cut cornerback Cameron Dantzler. I think that second outside cornerback spot is still kind of up in the air. He had some moments for the Vikings, but never really put it all together. Former, I think, second-round pick, third. He was a day two guy. Athletic. I liked him coming out of Mississippi State, but never really gelled there. Maybe he's an option to sign for cheap and compete for that other outside corner spot, assuming the Bears want to keep Kyler Gordon in the nickel. Because I don't, Kendall Vilder, Josh Blackwell, Jalen Jones is one of those guys going to be that reliable CB2 opposite of Jalen Johnson? Hard to say. Maybe you get a guy like Dantzler in there to compete. Speaking of the cornerback position, the Philadelphia Eagles are allowing cornerback Darius Slay to seek a trade. He wants a contract extension, more money, but he's 32 years old. So I think the Eagles are, kind of negotiating here, saying, okay, see what you can get in a trade, or see what teams would be interested in paying you if they were to trade for you. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think the Bears would be in play for Darius Slay, but big story going around the league, so I wanted to mention it. Next story, I should say. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers' trade watch continues. It feels like Jets, Packers, or retire at this point. And I'll be honest, I don't think the Packers want him back, but if he wants to return, they're kind of handicapped contract-wise. So I think they're hoping he either A, retires or wants to go to the Jets, and then they would trade him there. Will the Jets trade for him? They certainly want to. I think it comes down to Rodgers at this point. What does he want? Does he want to keep playing? Does he want to play somewhere else? Does he want to remain in Green Bay and try to run it back one more time? It's hard to know what the guy is thinking. I think we've kind of learned that, especially in these last few years. But that continues. And if you can't stand Rodgers and the Packers, get the FGBs going down in the comments. FGB down below. And then one more story. I don't think the Bears will be in. I haven't seen any reports that they're going to go watch the workout. But Odell Beckham Jr. working out for NFL teams today. He's 13 months removed from an ACL tear in the Super Bowl last year between the Rams and the Bengals. 30-31, I think if healthy, is still a really good player, a wide receiver 2 type. I don't think he's a 1, but we know how talented he is. One of the most polarizing players in this league. So very fascinated to see where he goes, what his market looks like. Again, I don't expect the Bears to be in the mix. I think you'll be looking at veteran teams that want to add that extra weapon to potentially push them over the top. I think of a team like the Dallas Cowboys, maybe. There's been some buzz if the Jets do get Rodgers, maybe they go sign OBJ as well. Do the Giants bring him back? They need a receiver coming off that playoff run last year where they won a playoff game. So he'll have suitors, but I don't think the Bears will be among them. All right, guys, appreciate you for tuning in here on a Friday. We will have a mailbag video going out tomorrow on the channel, so be on the lookout for that. I am Harrison Graham. We're on Draft Trade Watch as well, so we'll see if and when the Bears do trade the number 1 pick. If they do, we will be going live. All right, guys, we're signing off. Bear down, and we will see you soon.